The deck archetype doesn't matter. You can pick whichever deck you feel comfortable using, okay? Any deck you like, pick that deck. Enjoying the game is a good way to win the game. Composure, being comfortable with your deck. How are you gonna win the duel if you don't even like to do? These are some regional decks. Don't copy the deck, copy the reasoning. In this Tenpai deck, they play a couple cards that aren't Tenpai related at all. What is this? Dimension Shifter. They have some Mochami, Ash Blossom, and Joyous Spring. Why those cards? Spell and trap choice aside, something suspicious here. Those aren't even dragons. The Ritual Beast deck is playing Dimension Shifter, Ash Blush, and Joyous Springs. Now, why? This isn't the Tenpai deck. This isn't cards that are going with Ritual Beast. Okay, good. Sky Striker doesn't have those cards in it at all. Let's check the side deck. It's here again. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Why? Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, even Droll and Lockbird over here, stop card advantage. In the current game state, you want to stop your opponent from drawing cards. That's the kind of knowledge you need to take to be a better duelist. Not copy paste somebody's entire deck in hopes of doing what they did. Times could have changed. This deck could be outdated already. I know you don't want to, but I would need you to go through every single deck that won a YCS, WCS, ABC, and find you the common denominator. It doesn't have to be an entire deck. Just what makes the deck function despite having another person playing against you. Look at it again. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. So Nico, just play Ash? I just said, look at all the decks that you possibly can to see the pattern. It is not just Ash. There's other cards placed in the decks that make them function even though somebody else is trying to make them not work. This is not solitaire. You're not playing by yourself. Your opponent is trying to stop you. Stop them first. Your deck might not be an OTK, FTK. Doesn't really matter. You can make the duel last as long as you want, as long as you make it so that your opponent can't stop you. And the same information I'm telling you right now is what you need to keep in your head for what your opponent is doing. They are also doing this. So what you need to do is put in something that is not prepared for. Put in something that they would not see coming. That way you throw them off their game, start to sweat. They'll start saying stupid stuff like, oh, you only won because you played that jank card. Nobody's playing that card. Why would you play that card? That's not even a good card, but they lost. Because you played that one card that they didn't see coming. Look at how many spells are in this deck, right? So why would they play anti-spell fragrance? That would hurt their deck, wouldn't it? But as long as it hurts you more, it works for them. I force my opponents to watch me play Shaddoll Invoked. Shaddoll's and Invoked are very old archetypes. They're not prepared for that. Even in this super meta deck of Snake Eyes / whatever, right? You go down here, bro is playing Psyframe Gamma and Psyframe Delta? Why would you do that? Top 4 at the regionals. Did that deck say 1,000 something in cost? That's crazy. Which brings me to my final point. Use simulators, use emulators, use whatever platform you can use to test your deck. Do not just jump into the game thinking you figured out the master strat. Try it out. Give it a practice round. Get a practice hand. Play against a computer. Play against your friends online. Do something in that realm where you don't have to actually spend the money. Because I ain't spending $1,000 on a deck. So I would find out a budget way to do what they did, right? Practice it online until it works to the same effect of their deck. I can guarantee you if you follow this method, you'll win multiple matches. But keep in mind, other people are also following this method to get better as a duelist. So you might win a lot, but you could also lose a lot. You just have to prepare yourself for that deck that you might not be prepared for. I know that sounds crazy. But if your deck needs a graveyard, make sure and put in a card that prevents banishing from your graveyard. Preparation for the unforeseen. You need to special summon monsters. Make sure you have a way to prevent them from preventing you from special summoning monsters. Think ahead, bucko! Super Poly still isn't banned. You see it right here? Super Poly, right? Discard 1 card, fusion summon 1. But look, they can't respond at all. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. Clear the field up. Get rid of annoyance. One of my favorites. Anti-magic arrows at the start of the battle phase for the rest of this turn after this card. Neither player can activate spell or trap cards or their effects. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. So if you know they're playing like cards that activate in the battle phase or they're waiting for you to enter battle phase to then stop your entire play, cool. Use anti-magic arrows. They can't use any of their spell or traps to do anything. These are all very niche, specific to certain decks. Different playstyles might choose different cards, okay? A lot of people prefer like Lava Golem to get rid of monsters that you can't really target and stuff like that. Me personally, I would just go Santa Claus right here. Does the exact same thing but allows me to summon as well that same turn. Because Lava Golem gets rid of 2, but now you can't normal summon. Santa Claus on the other hand just pops that monster off the field. Now, I wouldn't leave him there to give you that free draw, but like, I pretty much cleared up the one monster I had a problem with, so now I can run you over with my monsters. But that's because I'm comfortable with this card. Like, I've tested this card. I understand the limitations and what I need to do to win after playing this card. If you were to net deck me, copy my entire deck, and then try to win this at like a locals, YZS, or whatever, you'd probably be frustrated with my choices because you don't understand why I made said choices. That's why I need you guys to study the decks. See what match up together. See what works well for your deck and for your playstyle. Don't just copy people in an attempt to copy their wins, okay? Copy their mentality, copy their strat, copy that tech, but make sure you understand and you are comfortable with playing your deck. Then it should just come naturally. Even if you lose a duel, you'll understand what you need to do, what you need to tweak to win the next duel and then subsequently win the match. It truly is not that hard, especially with all these simulators out now. Like when I was growing up, I had no simulators. I had to go buy the cards to test out these decks. But because I no longer have to buy the cards to test out these decks, I could test the deck I want before I go out and spend money on like materializing the physical deck. I need you to do the same. Like for real. I'm already proud of what you're gonna do. Like I'm already happy that you got to where you wanna be and you can still improve. I'm happy for you. Because I know for a fact these methods work. This is a proven method to win duels, to win matches. You don't have to be top of the top. You just have to see what they did and go, yeah, that works for me.